When we want that close connection with God, we need to make sure that we are able to hear His voice. We need to learn to listen very carefully. We do that by spending time alone with God every day, the way Jesus told us we should. As we're alone with God, it's very much like when Moses was out in the desert in his tent of meeting. You remember he was leading the people through the desert and he set up the tent outside the camp. And that's where he would go and he would listen for God and God would speak to him. Well, he speaks to us that way today. But Jesus said, "Let he who has ears hear." He meant we need to be listening carefully. We need to develop that ear for God like we have an ear for a child who's out on a busy playground, but we can hear his voice above all the other noise. You see, when we are listening for God, we're very much like Samuel. Do you remember when he was a little boy living with the priest Eli? 3 times God called to Samuel, and he didn't know it was God, so he ran into Eli. Well, the third time, Eli said, "If you hear again, then stop and say, 'Speak, Lord, your servant is listening.'" That's how we need to listen. We need to be intentional. We need to have a servant heart. We need to be open to the voice of God, and that will lead us to a closer connection with Him.